GoodBuy, the show where we tell you about a thing and whether or not you should actually buy that thing. Today, that thing is Teardown. Teardown is a destruction physics playground of mayhem, released in early access on PC back in October of 2020, with a full launch in April of 2022. Finally, as of November 2023, the game is available on PS5 and Xbox Series X and S, bringing the joys of methodical dismantling to a whole new audience. But maybe you're wondering if the game is really worth the price of admission. Here's everything you need to know about Teardown and whether it's worth the buy. Working as part of a dwindling teardown business operating out of an old warehouse, you start the game with an email from your co-worker/mother who is expressing concerns about the business's financial future. After some encouragement to take some less desirable jobs, you set out with a contract to demolish a building to make way for some capitalist expansion. Is the building in question a protected and beloved historical site? Look, we don't ask questions here. One thing leads to another, and suddenly you'll find yourself doing the dirty work of two rich men pitted against each other. But little do they know, you're the one helping the other out. Oh, and you'll also have some not so legal work with the police against them as well. The jobs you'll be undertaking will range from destroying a building, disposing of some safes, pulling off a heist, or even just some intelligence gathering. There's a huge range of methods across varying missions, with several significant maps to explore and play around in. The real draw of Teardown, though, is planning the mission itself. As you progress through the game, you will unlock more and more tools, starting with a sledgehammer and a fire extinguisher, and eventually getting things like a hunting rifle and nitroglycerin. You know, the fun stuff. With these tools in hand, you'll be set loose in the maps to figure out how to complete the objectives, alongside the optional objectives too. You don't have to pursue these extra objectives, but they do grant a higher score, which, in turn, speeds up unlocking the tools between missions. Missions will have you return to the maps multiple times throughout the game, but with each mission comes its own challenges. Most of the time, you'll need to scout out the area to find and plot a route to most efficiently reach your objectives, and even see what's changed since you last were at that location. Heist missions will mean you can spend up to and over an hour setting up the perfect route, positioning vehicles and making holes in walls and ramps up to higher locations to make sure that you can pull off every objective as soon as you set off the alarm, which, once triggered, will give you 60 seconds to do everything you need to do and get to the escape vehicle. There is so much excitement in spending ages setting up the perfect mission and then pulling it off exactly to plan. There is also a lot of fun in setting up a plan and then it just falls apart. There are other types of missions too, some of which involve stealth, transportation, or even just playing around on a racetrack. Regardless of what type and what map, these missions never feel old or wasted, and the game consistently provides a challenge to overcome and a sandbox to play around with. Another highlight feature of the game, and perhaps an unexpected one, is the storytelling. The game does feature a story regarding the protagonist, the jobs they undertake, and the people they end up helping along the way, and all of this is told through the interactions over email in between missions. However, the biggest show of narrative is in the environments. Each level will change over the course of the game, expanding in scale and often featuring alterations in security, as you would expect after many break-ins. Funnily though, they don't just lock the door. Not that that would do much anyway. The biggest changes, however, will be most notable in the protagonist's home, the warehouse. What starts as an abandoned looking mess of brick, concrete, and some left behind debris will gradually be worked on after each mission. You'll come back to this hub and notice a new kitchen is being installed upstairs, or some floorboards are in the process of being laid down, and eventually the whole place will start to look unrecognizable as you run into more success. It's a simple and gradual change across the game, but it's significant in telling a story about the person living there. Yes, they did just break into a facility to steal some classified data, but they also have a new washer dryer being delivered. Good for them. So just how long are you going to be playing Teardown if you decide to jump in? Well, that really depends on what it is you want to be doing. The story itself will take you from mission to mission, and if you just focus on the primary objectives and move on, you'll get around about 12 hours out of the game, according to howlongtobeat.com. However, if you plan on doing a bunch of optional objectives and completing all of the challenges available to you, then this can easily reach upwards of 20 to 25 hours. And then you have the sandbox mode. Every map you unlock can be entered in sandbox mode from the main menu, which lets you run rampant with all the tools you have to mess around with the environments and just have fun with physics and destruction. There are also plenty of mods for the game. Steam Workshop features a whole load of incredible mods to keep you occupied for a long time, and the console version of the game also includes a free mod pack that you can install, just to add in some extra toys for you to mess around with. With all of that, Teardown can easily be a game you keep coming back to, racking up the hours and just having a blast with blasts until the world is rubble. And then you go again. With a physics system as great as this, we just have to break down the price. Teardown on Steam will cost you around $25.99, while on PS5 and Xbox Series X and S it will cost $24.99. There is also the option of DLC with a Season Pass available, and with each releasing pack available individually too. The first mod pack on consoles is free, and everything on Steam Workshop is also completely free, of course. The game was also available for free to PlayStation Plus Extra subscribers on its release in November 2023. Teardown is a game that should not be overlooked. It's unapologetically gorgeous, the physics are some of the best available to mess around with, and it's got a huge appeal to fans of action, stealth, platformers, puzzle games, and just some good old-fashioned sandbox gameplay. And again, unapologetically gorgeous. So, when the question is Teardown a good buy? The answer is yes. Yes, it is.